watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena. Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, police on Grand Bahama investigating the sudden death of a toddler. Reports say the child died yesterday afternoon after he was rushed to hospital. Sabrina Brown reports.
The sudden death of a 2-year-old male child sent shock waves throughout Grand Bahama, and family members are still trying to come to terms with the loss. Assistant Commissioner of Police Emerick Seymour said they received a call sometime after 4 p.m. Monday that a child was unresponsive at a home on Magellan Crescent in Freeport. Officers and EMS personnel responded and transported the toddler to the Rand Memorial Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. A large crowd gathered outside the hospital as word of the unfortunate incident spread. While ACP Seymour could not confirm any of the allegations circulating about how the boy died, he said the father is assisting them with the investigation.
He was at home with his father at the time, and so the father at the moment is assisting us in the investigation. And so as soon as the autopsy, we get the actual autopsy report, we'll be able to make a further determination as to where we go with the investigation.
ZNS News asked ACP Seymour if foul play is suspected in this incident, but he said an autopsy will have to be performed before the death can be classified. However, Grand Bahama's commanding chief did note that the child's death does not appear to be normal.
There were some abrasions about the body that we don't consider normal, and so we have to determine how those abrasions came about, etc., etc.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, as the probe continues into the sudden death of the 2-year-old child on Grand Bahama, there is reaction coming in from a senior member of the legal profession. Joan Davis Rolle has this story.
As news of the death of a toddler spread like wildfire throughout Grand Bahama, a veteran barrister at law is weighing in on this most troubling incident. Attorney Constance McDonald says more must and should be done to safeguard and protect our children.
What I continuously saying is you cannot force parenting on anybody. In order to be a parent, you need to have the bond with that child. A parent who is bonded with his child could never kill that child. Now what happens is, and I sometimes have clients and they say, but that's the father and I'm leaving the child with the father. I say, but he never bonded with that father. And if you never bonded with the father, don't just leave your child with that father. Don't let no court tell you to leave the child with the father either like that. Because it is important that the person that you're leaving your child with has bonded with your child so that there could be no issues between them, and that they love the child. If you watch their interaction.
McDonald, who on Tuesday addressed local social workers at a forum, noted that too many homes have become battlefields and our children are in crisis. She's appealing to parents in particular and society on the whole to wake up.
Anything that you do in anger is excessive. I mean, even if you're going to reprimand someone, it should be in a loving fashion, so that I love you, but I need you to understand and to behave in a certain way. And I'm training you. See, it has to be training, lovingly training a person. And people know when you care about them or not. And so they know how to, they know when you really care and when you don't.
The local attorney stated that while there are laws on the books to protect the rights of children, there are two things that lawmakers cannot legislate: love and morality.
A man who doesn't support his children, as far as I'm concerned, he ain't care for them. Because if you really love and care for your children, you will support them financially, emotionally, physically, everything.
Joan Davis Rolle, ZNS Network News.
Well, also in news tonight, a student of the 8 Mile Walk High School is hospitalized in guarded condition. The young boy was on his way to school when he was reportedly struck by a car in the Jonestown community. Police are continuing their investigations into this incident and are appealing to motorists to exercise extreme caution, especially when traveling in school zones. In other news, Grand Bahama's Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Emerick Seymour is also continuing the appeal for a wanted suspect. 35-year-old Garen Lucan Gibson, aka Dog, is wanted for questioning in connection with serious criminal matters.
He has been the subject of our an intense investigation that we're conducting. We want to question him in connection with these home invasions we've had. and we feel that he can assist us tremendously in our investigation in this matter. And so we want to ask any member of the public who know the whereabouts of this Garen Gibson to please bring the information forward, come to the police.
Well, Gibson, whose last known address is Patelco Corner in Jonestown, 8 Mile Walk, he stands at 6 feet 1 inch tall with brown eyes, brown complexion. He weighs 150 to 180 pounds and has a small scar under his right eye. Gibson has eluded police for almost a year, and ACP Seymour believes he is still on this island. He is sending a warning to persons who may be assisting the suspect.
We are stating that he is being harbored by person or persons out there in the community, and we want to say to them that it's an offense to be harboring a known felon and a known criminal. And so we want to send a stern warning out to those persons. If they are in fact harboring Garen Gibson, we want to tell them that once they are caught, the full brunt of the law will be brought to bear on them.
Well, if you know the whereabouts of Garen Lucan Gibson, you are asked to contact the police.